I'm not sure the roosters were crowing yesterday, but they may be today with the fact that the hellish weather we had over the last 48 hours has finally moved away. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. I'm Cale Remaker from Fox 35 News. Happy to be filling in for the Bud Man today. Jenna, where did Bud go?
He went to California.
Does he know where he went?
Well,
because apparently he didn't know what time he was supposed to leave.
But let's put it this way: Bud has a wife at home that
takes
handles
care of that
all
stuff.
that. Yeah. So I like to refer to myself as the work Linda.
Oh, okay.
So he did not know what flight he was on, and had to end up taking another day off because he thought he was flying out Thursday night.
So he was supposed to be here yesterday, but couldn't because he suddenly realized he had to hightail it.
Right.
Happens to the best of us, I guess. So anyway, great to be filling in today. We got a packed show coming up for you. We'll be here obviously till 9 o'clock this morning. Run down some of the subjects and some of the talking heads that we will have on. Coming up in this hour, we're going to get the latest on the situation in Libya. First off, we're going to talk with Fox Radio News' Alistair Wanklin, who's in London this morning. Get the latest on the situation that's going on over there. The NATO now in control. Still so many questions here in the United States about what exactly our role is. This morning, one of the things that the White House is putting out is that they have a dual-track policy on Libya. I don't have any idea what that means. Maybe we'll try and sort that out, what exactly dual track is on Libya. Florida freshman Senator Marco Rubio really getting a lot of attention the last 48 hours for his letter that he wrote to the leaders in the Senate, saying that he wants a bill to be brought to the floor to authorize the actions that are going on in Libya, but also primarily he wants to see a regime change. He wants to see Muammar Gaddafi out. I think a lot of Americans agree with that. That is one thing, another issue that we'll be talking with the Fox News reporter on coming up here in about 10 minutes. And then get the latest on the situation with the budget, at least from the White House perspective, with Mike Makowitz, who is also with Fox News Radio. The situation there, obviously, next Friday at this time, there needs to be a budget deal in place. We've heard everybody say they're not going to do another stopgap measure. The Republicans in the House, depending on who you speak to, will either tell you that there is no deal, there is no set cut number. Then some will tell you that, yeah, it's about $30 billion, $33 billion. So we'll try to get the perspective at least of what the White House is saying. Vice President Joe Biden earlier this week saying there was a consensus to cut the budget about $30 billion. The Tea Party, a lot of the freshman Republicans in the House want to see it cut around $60 billion. So we'll try to sort that out. 7 o'clock hour, Gary Kaltbaum, the Fox Business News financial contributor, who's always frequently a guest on my station, Fox 35. Some interesting developments in terms of, money. When the head of the largest company in the world comes out and says that we're going to get spanked by inflation, that's not good. And that's exactly what the chief executive of Walmart came out and said yesterday, that they are seeing everything that they buy go up in price, and that it's only a matter of time before we all feel it when we go to buy items, anything. Inflation definitely coming down the line. We'll talk with Gary exactly about quite how bad that may get. He's always got good insight on that. And also the price of oil, again, it's never been higher. As we ended the month of March last year. Never been higher as it topped out at $107 a barrel. And he and I always have a good debate over oil speculators. I tend to believe that a lot of this is speculators driving up the price because they're making bets based on what may happen. Gary doesn't buy into that at all, so that should always be real interesting. At 7:45, Dr. Richard Fogelsong, who's a very well-respected political science professor at Rollins, and actually out with a brand new book on Mel Martinez, former senator from Orlando. It's also a good chance for us to kind of delve into Marco Rubio and his stock rising so quickly. He'll be joining us 8 o'clock hour, really a packed show here in terms of we'll be talking a lot about the state budget and the federal budget. Republican Representative Dan Webster is going to join us from Washington right after the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. And then at the bottom of the hour, Senate President Mike Herodopoulos from Tallahassee has been kind enough to join us. And both of those guys right now involved in the building of budgets, one on the state level, one on the federal level, and so many questions about what exactly the final numbers are going to be. Both have the same task. They got to cut. Trying to cut as much as they can, $4 billion they're trying to cut here in Florida. And again, the number earlier, as we said, with the federal level, anywhere between $30 to $60 billion they're trying to cut in the U.S. House. So those things coming up here in the next 3 hours as I sit in for Bud Hedinger today. If you want to get involved anytime this morning, you have an open invitation. The number is 407-916-5400, 407-916-5400, toll free, 866-916-5400, 866-916-5400. But we'll definitely have time to take your calls throughout the morning and interspersed with the great guests that we have on. Also, there's a few interesting subjects that I've come across that I think are up for great debate that we can talk about today, and I'm really, really curious to hear what Central Florida has to say about these controversial issues. State of Arizona involved in another one, I think, that's going to get a lot of people upset. We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. It is 6:12 on Friday morning. I'm Cale Remaker from Fox 35 News in for Bud Hedinger. We'll be right back after a check of traffic and weather. Coming up on 6:18 on this Friday morning, it is calm outside after biblical rains and winds of the last 48 hours. Hopefully you got through unscathed. A lot of downed trees and power lines, and hope that you were able to get through there without too many headaches. Cale Remaker with you this morning from Fox 35 News. Going to be with you till 9 o'clock. The Budman out in his, it's got to be one of his least favorite states, I would think, just politically, California this morning. I hope that he can enjoy the Pacific Ocean and the sunsets out there at least, and try and keep all the problems that California has politically off his mind. But we want to talk now about what's going on about halfway around the world, and that is, of course, the situation in Libya, which still many people here find very dumbfounding. We're going to try and get some clarification on what exactly the latest is, as the NATO folks are now running the operation. Alistair Wanklyn from Fox News in London is with us. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Very well, thank you.
Coming up on lunchtime over there, the situation in Libya is that NATO is running things. Anything that major that developed overnight, that when we last left everybody, the Gaddafi forces had apparently made some progress on pushing back the rebels. Is that still really the latest?
I'm afraid it is more of that to and fro on the ground, the latest with the rebels fleeing Gaddafi forces from some port cities. The NATO operation, of course, is now in charge of the no-fly zone, in theory removing the onus from America, but when there is heavy lifting to be done, it's likely American troops will still be called upon, not on the ground, but in the sky, of course, if they need satellite intelligence or if they need bombing strikes. I guess NATO will still be looking to America towards helping. After all, America is the only superpower member of NATO, so it has capacities that most other members lack. Meanwhile, of course, there is also look at whether the Gaddafi regime may be crumbling from within. That's what the British government describes it as. The foreign minister defected and flew here to England on Wednesday. And today we're hearing that another envoy from the Gaddafi regime has been holding talks with British officials here in London, not officially here on a peace mission from Gaddafi, but we're told these talks took place, and maybe this is a sign that the Gaddafi regime is opening up to the world, looking for a way out.
Alistair, we've been hearing that President Obama has approved the CIA being on the ground in Libya. Any guess, any hints here that some of this defection we saw yesterday and possibly further defections from the Gaddafi regime itself have anything to do with any type of CIA work, or are these just individuals getting out on their own?
Yeah, we don't know. It seems that these are individuals who've decided in their own minds there is no future in the Gaddafi regime. They want to get out while the going is good, perhaps heeding those calls internationally to watch out because we may prosecute you if you continue to stand by Gaddafi. You may be up for war crimes in the future. So that's one way of intimidating people into quitting. The CIA teams, we're told, are on the ground, by some reports, mixing with the rebels, vetting rebel leaders, essentially identifying who are the people to be talking with as future leaders for Libya. There is also the question, of course, of whether the rebels can be helped in their mission, even though the UN mandate stops short of allowing nations to take sides in the civil conflict there. But we're told that CIA teams are at least on the ground there, and it's assumed there may be other missions of that kind from other nations as well.
There still seems to be a lot of ambivalence over here in the U.S. as to what exactly we're doing there, and that also involves the support. It seems to be, depending on who you talk to, some people support it, some still not sure exactly what we're doing. What is the feel in Europe, in Western Europe, in terms of what's going on?
It's a fair question, and it's pretty much the same. People are wondering how we suddenly ended up in another Muslim nation without a huge amount of preparation. After all, we have had no-fly zones before in the Balkans and Bosnia, and that was in the 1990s.
Sure.
But that was something that took a couple of years to crank up, and by that time, people had come to terms with it in their minds. They'd rationed through the justice or the whether it was worth spending money there. And people were prepared for it. This in Libya seems to have appeared just literally in a matter of 3 weeks or so, to maybe just a little bit more than that. And it has taken some people by surprise, and certainly with some governments here in Europe finding themselves lacking support for the mission in Afghanistan. Germany, for example, a majority of people there want their troops out of Afghanistan. It's very difficult for them to sell yet another operation, even if this one is not as costly as something like Afghanistan. The German government, for example, other governments likewise in Europe, they find it difficult to justify that with their taxpayers.
Alistair Wanklyn with Fox News from London. We appreciate your insight on the Libyan situation. You have yourself a good rest of the Friday and a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
6:22 on Friday morning here on 540 WFLA. Cale Remaker in for the Budman. We'll be right back after a check of weather and traffic. And here's your official forecast from Cale Remaker's iPhone. It is going to be 78 today. It's going to be calm. It's going to be, it's going to be nothing like the last 48 hours. It'll be mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Does that make sense? 78 degrees, an overnight low of 58. Boy, the weekend looks great. 84 Saturday, 86 Sunday. Nothing but bright blue skies. Right now it is 63 degrees in Orlando. We're going to be getting up again to a high of 78. Cale Remaker from Fox 35 in for the Budman, coming up on 6:24. I got a chance here for you. If you have something on your chest, has it been a bad week? It has for a lot of people. If you want to call in, 407-916-5400, toll free 866-916-5400. While I have the chance, I mentioned at the top of the show that the state of Arizona is up to something that it's not going to quite come to the level of the outrage that people have over the immigration reform. However, Governor Jan Brewer has now proposed levying a $50 fee on enrollees in the state's cash-starved Medicaid program for obese people who do not follow a doctor-supervised slimming regimen, and also a $50 fee for smokers. What do you think about that? You know, our society tends to be getting a little bit larger as we go through the years. Arizona, just like Florida, really running out of money to pay for Medicaid, which again is the medical program provided for the poor. And here you have Arizona saying we just can't pay this anymore, and we need people to start doing a little bit more on their own. And if they're obese and their doctor tells them they need to lose weight, or their doctor says you need to quit smoking, if you don't do that, we're going to make you pay for part of it because it's going to end up costing the state more because of your health situation. Does that bother you at all? Surprised that maybe it's taken this long for a state to finally say enough is enough. We need some more responsibility from people. If we're going to help you, you need to help us and help yourself at the same time. So the governor has this $50 proposal now, which he is going to try and get through out there in the Arizona House and the Arizona Senate. I think a great quote based off this announcement came from a spokeswoman for Arizona's Medicaid program, a woman named Monica Corey, who said, if you want to smoke, go for it. But understand you're going to have to contribute something for the cost of the care of your smoking. $50 would be the deal if you are, say, hypothetically told by your doctor that maybe you suffer from diabetes because of your weight, you need to lose weight, anything like that, you would have to pay up, a part of the cost. And that's kind of, I think, resembles the situation we're in financially as individual states and as a country. It's gotten to the point now where we have governors proposing that people have to, pay a part if they don't do their part, because we can no longer just afford to, to bankroll everybody. Maybe there's part of that to it. But of course, Brewer, I would expect that that her foes on the left are going to jump all over this and call this no compassion, mean-spirited, you name it. 407-916-5400, 407-916-5400 is the number if you want to call in. Toll-free 866-916-5400. But definitely I think that's interesting. We've got real time here to take one quick call. Tom, you're the first one of the morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy weekend to you all.
Thank you.
I want to know, they want to charge us $50 for this, that, and the other thing. What are they going to charge the illegals?
Well, maybe in Arizona they can't because they're not technically legal residents.
Oh, so we got to pay. We got to foot the bill again.
Well, according to this, if you're not overweight and you don't smoke and you're on Medicaid,
no. If they charge the illegals, there would be no question about smoking or overweight or diabetic. You know that in your mind, and everybody on the radio knows that.
Well, there's no doubt that
that.
Yeah, there's no doubt in the state of Arizona that again. The people in control out there and power who've been elected say that all of their problems financially are tied to the illegal problem. So it's safe to assume that part of their Medicaid issue is also because of the illegal issue. So, Tom, we appreciate your call. Thank you for calling in. But I want to try and get some more thoughts on that as we head throughout the morning. What you think about that? Maybe Governor Rick Scott might propose that some point down the road here, as Florida's Medicaid program costs upwards of $20 billion a year. We got a state budget here that's only about $66 billion, $20 billion of that going towards Medicaid. Got to take a break. Coming up on the bottom of the hour, 6:28 here on 540 WFLA. Cale Remaker with you up till 9 o'clock. We're going to be right back with more on the Bud Hedinger Show.
Hey, Mike. Good, how are you? All right, you've got Kale Raymaker today. That's good. The guy we have in studio today for Bud, his first name is Kale, C-A-L-E. Yes. And he is well aware that he needs to stick to topics. Thanks.
Goldenrod closed in between Valencia College Lane and Colonial Drive. You may want to use Chickasaw Trail here instead. And delays with an accident eastbound along Lake Mary Boulevard just east of 1792. From the Traffic Center, I'm Courtney Bright.
Traffic on Air Online, a service of the Seminole County Fair.
We're changing things up at this year's Seminole County Fair. It's 3 weekends of nonstop fair fun starting March 25th through April 10th. Open Thursdays through Sundays only, and admission and parking are free at the Seminole Town Center in Sanford. For details, see SeminoleCountyFair.com.
This portion of 540 WFLA is brought to you by GrandCareOfFlorida.com.
From 540 WFLA, Orlando's 24-hour weather channel. Much more tranquil weather as we go through the weekend. A little cloud cover this morning, but mostly sunny and 80 the forecast high for today. Sunshine mid to upper 80s tomorrow and Sunday. Weather updated around the clock on 540 WFLA. I'm David Maddox at the Weather Channel.
Pulling themselves up by their own bootstraps.
This is Bud Henninger Live.
With their own blood and sweat.
On 540 WFLA.
Hey, it's Friday. That's a good thing, right? It means the weekend's almost here. Kale Remaker from Fox 35 News in for the Budman, who's in California for a nice long weekend. Just turned 6:36. Time to talk with Mike Salvatorelli from the Wall Street Journal about things going on in the financial world. Mike, good morning. How you doing? I'm doing well. Subprime bonds are coming back, and a lot of people, including me, it kind of goes not necessarily right over the top of my head, but kind of to the side. What does this mean for the average Joe? Yeah, these things were what wrecked us, right? Yeah. Well, the interesting thing there, though, is that you still hear from a lot of people that the banks still are not lending. Right. And potentially has a real high reward. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I mean, that would obviously be an indication then perhaps it would start, that would start spreading from there, trickling on out, and lending would increase, and we're talking about interest rates still being as low as they ever have been. That's basically, yeah, you cut to the chase. I was trying to give it a positive spin, yeah. Let's just do it all over again, right? It was, speaking of which, I was shocked to read yesterday that the TARP program, which was where we lent billions of dollars to the banks so they wouldn't fail, actually is making, I think, money now. They said $6 billion. Yeah, the unemployment rate maybe getting down closer to the low 8%, I believe. 8.9. Okay. Toyota obviously going through a huge issue in Japan. All of the manufacturers over there have not been able to build cars because of part shortages, but Toyota raising prices not necessarily because they don't have enough cars, but because the yen is so strong. Mike Salvatorelli with Wall Street Journal with us. One more quick thing here. We're going to talk about this a little bit later today, that the chief executive of Walmart came out yesterday and said, be ready for big-time inflation. Says it's coming down the line. Is the possibility that could derail a lot of the recovery that we're seeing. Mike Salvatorelli with Wall Street Journal. You're in New York, aren't you? Yes. You must be in one heck of a soundproof room, because I hear no. Ours is up there on Tuesday. No horns, no yelling, no screaming. It's nice and quiet up there. And I know it's not like that in New York, right? All right, Mike, you have a good weekend. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. 6:40 on 540 WFLA. Cale Remaker in for Bud Hedinger until 9 o'clock this morning.